the protein prescription, why you're still tired and flabby and hungry, and how to fix it. Are you eating healthy, but you're still tired? You're still softer in the middle. You're hungry again 45 minutes after you just ate your lunch, and you're beginning to wonder if you're part hamster. Here's the truth that nobody told you. You're not broken. You're not old and doomed. You're probably just not eating enough protein. Yes, protein, I've talked about it before. The most overlooked macronutrient on your plate, and the one that's quietly ruining your health, ruining your fat loss, your muscle tone, your hormones, your energy levels, if you're not getting enough of it. So let's find out what that really means and fix it from today. Hi, I'm Emma Voysey, in case you haven't met me before, and I help real people, generally over 40, but this works at any age, potentially perimenopausal people, postmenopausal, aka that was so long ago you can barely remember how to spell it, insulin resistant, snack addicted, full-on food addicted, or just plain confused people. Ditch the gimmicks and burn fat, build muscle, and feel more like themselves again, using real food, not magic pills. Today we're going to go deep on protein, why it's not just for bodybuilders, how it affects fat loss and cravings and sleep and energy and aging, and why outside the box thinking experts like Dr. Layman, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Dr. Sean Omara and Dr. Annette Bosworth, to name but a few, are screaming from the rooftops about protein. And stick around, because by the end of this video I'm going to give you as a free gift a protein cheat sheet so you'll never have to second guess what to eat ever again. Value bomb number 1, the myth busting moment. I always struggle to pronounce myth busting without falling over my words. Let's start here. You've been lied to. Yep, you heard that right. We were told that protein makes you bulky, that it's hard on the kidneys, that you only need 45 grams a day and everything else is just a steak-flavoured death wish. Rubbish. According to Dr. Layman, one of the world's top protein researchers, the 45-gram RDA, which Dr. Zoe Harcombe refers to as the ridiculous daily amount or ridiculous daily allowance, is the minimum amount required to prevent deficiency, not the amount that you need for optimal health and muscle maintenance and fat loss. It's like saying brushing your teeth once a week is technically enough to stop them falling out. Doesn't mean it's ideal. Value bomb number 2, why protein matters even more as we age. So after age 30, yeah, just 30, like practically the point at which you just start to feel like you might almost be a grown-up, we lose up to 5% of our muscle every decade thereafter. Listen to that fact once again, 5%. That means by the time you're knocking on the door of 60, like I am, your body has quietly replaced lean, calorie-burning muscle with slouchy, blood sugar-wrecking fat. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon calls this muscle-centric medicine because muscle isn't just about looks, it's the organ of longevity. It regulates insulin, which relates to your blood sugar. It protects your joints. It lowers inflammation. And it helps you to burn fat even when you're sleeping. And guess what it's made of? Protein. Not carbs, not greens or fibre, not coconut water infused with the tears of virgins, just actual protein. Maybe like me, you've been noticing recently more shorts on Instagram of people's parents or grandparents in their 70s, their 80s, their 90s, who are weight training, actual weightlifting in gyms and completely transforming their physique, completely transforming themselves. I'm not saying that this dynamic shift is for everybody, but do keep in mind that just because you have years on the clock doesn't mean you have to give up moving and lifting things. If you don't want to go to the gym, just try incorporating lifting things in the course of your day. Think of it as functional exercise, because that's what it is. Gradually increase the weights that you're able to carry. Farmer carries are really easy. You literally just put weights in 2 bags, equal weights, and carry them up the garden path. Start light and increase as you get stronger. Or just always park the car a little further away from the shop and carry your shopping back to the boot of the car. Or leave the car at home if that's feasible. Consider wearing a weighted vest when you walk or when you go shopping. Why not? I'm all for time saving and combining activities. I have 4 short flights of stairs that up to my front door in my apartment. 39 steps in total, I've counted them. There is no lift. So get this, it's really hard to rent something decent in Andorra that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And our apartment's really nice and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. But the last person moved out because she got too old to manage the stairs. Her loss was our gain. I'm not planning to ever get too old so that I can't manage stairs. Last year, a close friend of mine suggested that a bungalow or a single-storey villa on the beach in Spain would be great to buy for retirement because it would be appropriate as he aged. This really shocked me because he's not even 60 yet. The fact that he's even considering this. My in-laws, by contrast, are my mother-in-law's 91, my father-in-law's nearly 98. They live in a 3-storey house. And they both live at home, they can live completely independently, and they still use their stairs every day. My parents are the same. They live in a 2-storey house, but they're like 78 and 90. Yesterday, my dad was 90 yesterday. They still use the stairs because that expression, use it or lose it, is no joke. You need to take this really seriously. And if you have lost it, then you need to start working on how you're going to get it back again. Value bomb number 3. Why protein won't make you fat. Still worried that protein might bulk you up? Let's just talk about this for a moment. You cannot turn muscle into fat. Here's the simple science behind it. Muscle and fat are 2 completely different tissues. It's not like your biceps get lazy and melt into muffins. What really happens is this. When you stop using your muscles due to age or illness or inactivity, they begin to atrophy, shrink from lack of use. If at the same time you're eating more than you're burning, you're going to gain fat. So it feels like your muscles turned into fat, but in reality you just lost muscle and gained fat in the same area. It's like swapping out the sofa in your living room. The old one didn't just turn into the new one, you removed it and you replaced it with something else. So let me quote Dr. Gabrielle Lyon again. It's very difficult to gain weight from overeating protein compared with overeating fats or carbs. That's because protein has the highest thermic effect of any food, meaning that your body burns more calories digesting it. It's literally harder work for your body to digest. It triggers muscle protein synthesis, that's tricky to say again, so you build more lean tissue instead of storing fat. And it crushes cravings better than anything else because it doesn't spike your blood sugar. It keeps blood sugar steady and it stops it from soaring like carbohydrates do. Let's break it down. What your plate should actually look like. So how much should you be eating? Dr. Lyon gives us a super simple rule. She says 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So that means if your ideal weight is 140 pounds or 10 stone or 63 kilos, that's 100 to 140 grams of protein per day. If you're very active or you're trying to reverse insulin resistance, aim for the upper end of this scale. And no, that's not 140 grams of chicken. It's 140 grams of protein, which means you're going to need more food than you think to get there. This is a really common misconception. And the weight of the protein portion that you're eating is also how many grams of protein you're getting. I get this question lots of times, very, very regularly. So if you think that, you're not alone. It's not that the weight of the meat isn't the same as the grams of protein, because a piece of chicken or steak or whatever that protein source isn't just pure protein. You've got fats and water and vitamins and minerals in there as well. And I just paused here to tell you, fast asleep here, Mikey, it's his birthday today. He's 3. Look at him having the best birthday he could possibly have, snoozing in the sunshine. So in case that sounds a bit confusing, I've made you a protein cheat sheet and I've put the link down in the description. So value bomb number 4, why protein should always come first in your diet. Dr. Donald Layman says we've been looking at nutrition backwards. Most people build meals around calories, then just fill in carbs and fats, and proteins just a sort of afterthought, whatever's left over. But he says protein is the only essential macronutrient. Carbohydrates are not required at all. Many people have a lot of problem with accepting this statement. It can sound really radical and extreme, and how can that possibly be right? If you go to your doctor and ask your doctor how much carbohydrate you should be eating in a day, he won't be able to give you a precise number because there isn't one. Not just because he doesn't know. I always think back to how we evolved. When we evolved, there was no agriculture. Here's the actual information that I refer to when people start arguing that we need fibre, we've always been plant eaters, not meat eaters, etc., or that veganism is healthy. So Dr. Sean Omara, who's carried out thousands and thousands of MRI scans to assess people's visceral fat quantity, that's i.e. how much fat is in your midsection, around your main organs, cloaking them, choking them, preventing oxygen from getting to those organs, preventing them from working properly, stopping them from doing the job they're supposed to do in your body. An MRI scan is the only way to successfully look at the inside of a human being. And here's a diagram of what a body looks like when you cut it open and it's got lots of visceral fat. I'm hoping this was a dead person, but it could have been in an operation. Dr. Sean says that vegetarian and veganism contributes to massive amounts of visceral fat over time, even if that person is skinny fat, so looks slim on the outside. Usually, he says, there will be a lot of fat on the inside. And I often get inquiries from people who are vegan or vegetarian asking me if I would coach them. Can they do my 3-month plan? But unfortunately, I always have to say, I'm really, really sorry. I can't, because I don't know enough about it. In order to be healthy and to be a vegan or a vegetarian, although it is simpler to be vegetarian because vegetarians can still eat eggs and dairy, you have to know an awful lot about nutrition and be very, very careful about how you supplement. It is necessary to supplement, and some of those supplements have to come from animal sources, like it or not. And also you have to be super aware of what you take in on a daily basis, so as to not end up severely undernourished, lacking in essential micronutrients, and over the long term destroying your own health, both the health of your organs and also your mental health. I didn't invent this. This is coming from scientists like Dr. Sean, who have studied the effects long term of these diets in many, many people. I love animals, and if another animal never had to die for the rest of time for me to survive, then I can assure you it wouldn't. Probably if I had to kill my own food, I'd be useless. I'd be a vegetarian. I'd be a terrible hunter. Honestly, I'd be pathetic. I just can't kill anything except flies. I don't have a problem killing flies. Not ants though, and not rats. You can judge me, and I know some of you will if you haven't already switched off, but here's a fact that might surprise you. Research suggests that more animals die to grow plants for vegan diets than to support ethical meat consumption. According to Professor Mike Archer, up to 40 times more sentient animals may die per hectare of land used for grain and vegetable production. So think mice, birds, snakes, rabbits, than in raising ruminant animals like cows and sheep. These animals are killed unintentionally in the line of ploughing, harvesting, pesticide use in agriculture. It's the hidden cost of industrial scale crop farming. So let's look at the human evolution timeline. So around 2.5 million years ago, the genus Homo, this is our human lineage, he emerged in Africa. This includes species like Homo habilis and Homo erectus. So when man stood up and started walking around. From 2.5 million to around 10,000 years ago, for 99.6% of our existence, humans lived as hunter-gatherers, meaning we ate mostly meat, fish, eggs, insects, berries, nuts, fruits, seasonal plant matter, anything we could get hold of. We were omnivorous. chances. We would eat whatever we could get hold of that didn't kill us and enable us to survive another winter and breed, which is why we're sitting here today, which is why I'm able to talk to you about this, because those people back then did that. Many researchers like Dr. Mickey Bendor and Dr. Bill Schindler argue that we were highly carnivorous during much of this period, potentially up to 70 to 90% animal-based, depending on location and season. Around 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, modern humans, appeared, still hunting, still gathering, still scavenging, still moving, still metabolically adapted to feast-famine cycles and nutrient density and physical activity. That's why we're so good at fasting. Around 10,000 years ago, Neolithic revolution, we began farming and settling and eating grains and legumes. Just 10,000 years ago, like a drop in the ocean. These are foods we previously couldn't really access because we didn't know how to cook them or process them. So what's my point? Modern humans are nearly biologically identical to those humans from 300,000 years ago. But today, most people are eating a diet that only existed for 0.4% of our whole evolutionary history. And half of it isn't even real food. We went from hunting mammoths and digging up roots, picking a few berries off a bush in the summertime and chancing on a bee's nest now and again for the honey. And it would have been a chance, because if you got it wrong, you'd end up dead. To unwrapping neon-coloured snacks with ingredients that you need a chemistry degree to be able to pronounce. Our ancestors ate nose to tail, wild-caught, nutrient-dense life fuel. By contrast, we eat beige boxes of food-like substances made in factories and fortified with synthetic vitamins to make up for the fact that they had none to begin with. We don't even have to leave the sofa to have this stuff delivered practically into our laps 24 hours a day, unless you live somewhere like this in rural France. I think it's a little bit more difficult to get a takeaway or a DoorDash delivered. That's like trying to fuel a Ferrari with a slush puppy. Your metabolism knows the difference, even if the food pyramid doesn't. In other words, build your plate around protein and then add the carbs and the fats based on your activity levels and your goals. So coming up next, I'm going to show you exactly how to structure your macros, aka nutrients, for fat loss, including whether you should eat more fat or more carbs based on your metabolic health. And yes, we're going to talk about cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, nuts, and all the protein sources that Liz Earle loves, with some necessary corrections. But before we get to that, please hit that subscribe button, because only 1 in 10 of the people watching this are actually subscribed to my channel, which means that the other 90% are missing out on the good stuff. Don't be that person. Part 2, value bomb number 5. How to balance carbs and fats around protein. So now we've prioritised protein, what about the carbs and fats? Here's what Dr. Donald Layman says. You earn your carbohydrates through physical activity. Let me say that again, louder for the snackers at the back. You earn your carbs. If you're doing a 3-hour hike or deadlifting your dog into the bath, then fine, have some sweet potato. If your idea of exercise is loading the dishwasher and rage scrolling on Instagram, keep the carbs low and focus on fat instead. Layman recommends starting with 130 grams of carbs maximum, which, let's be honest, 1 blueberry muffin and a half-hearted banana, that will do it, and only increasing if you're burning through it with real activity. Otherwise, it turns into fat and then it's stored, and it's not the nice kind that keeps your cheeks plump and makes you look youthful. Value bomb number 6. What counts as a good protein source? Here's where we clear up the confusion and address Liz Earle's lovely, slightly wobbly maths. 1 egg does not have 14 grams of protein. Sorry, Liz. Unless it's the size of your head or, ostrich egg, anyone. A standard egg has about 6 grams, still good, but not magic. So let's look at some top protein performers. You've got your beef, lamb, chicken, turkey, pork. That's around 25 grams per 100 grams or per 4 ounces, thereabouts. You've got salmon, sardines, tuna, 20 to 25 grams per 100 grams. Always aim for wild caught fish if you can, because farmed fish has not lived on its natural diet. Honestly, it's not very good for you. It's often fed not only things like pesticides, food which isn't the best source for that particular animal, but it also is, they have to feed them a lot of antibiotics to keep them alive long enough to reach their kill weight. Cottage cheese, 11 grams per 100 grams. Greek yogurt, plain, full fat, 9 to 10 grams per 100. Eggs, 6 to 8 grams each. But I've stopped buying the really big ones because I've heard that that's cruel. Whey protein isolate, 20 to 25 grams per scoop. I don't use this stuff because I'm not sure where it's been sourced from, and it's not a whole real food. It's something that's been extracted from real food and made into something else with some clever chemical sorcery. So I tend to just eat real protein. And no, hummus does not count. Chickpeas are not a high protein food, despite what you might think. They are a carb with a marketing degree. And if you're building your meals around lentils and almonds and oat milk, you're going to hit your protein target sometime in September. Value bomb number 7, why protein keeps you full and sane, and why protein is the satiety boss. It helps you go for 4 to 5 hours without thinking about snacks or biscuits or what's in the fridge again. And here's why. It blunts your blood sugar curve so that you don't spike and crash. That's the first thing. It increases GLP-1 and peptide YY hormones that tell you, I'm full. It slows gastric emptying, meaning that your stomach stays full for longer. It takes more energy to digest, so you burn calories just in processing it. Dr. Annette Bosworth, aka Dr. Boz, also points out, if you're hungry after a meal, you probably didn't eat enough protein or fat. It's not willpower, it's biochemistry. Eat enough steak and eggs and suddenly that chocolate bar looks avoidable. Value bomb number 8, timing matters, especially for midlife women. Let's talk about when to eat our protein, because this is a fat loss accelerator if you do it right. Front load your day. I've said this before. Your body responds better to protein in the morning when cortisol is high. Cortisol plus protein equals energy and focus. Cortisol plus carbs equals muffin top and a nap. Hit 30 grams per meal minimum. That's the muscle building trigger. That's the magic number that triggers muscle building to start happening. Anything less is just not going to get the job done. Don't spread it into tiny snacky bits. One 10 gram nibble of almonds over here, a yogurt pot there, that isn't helping. Eat it all at once, eat till you're satiated. Hit that 30 gram sweet spot or go over it. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon puts it bluntly. She says the first meal of the day sets the metabolic tone for everything that follows thereafter. So if you start with toast and fruit, you're already going to be behind. Quick reminder, I've put all this into a protein cheat sheet for you. This is going to tell you how much protein you need in a day, the top food sources with gram, ounces counts on there. Easy ways to hit your daily goal without tracking apps or stress. You can download it right now. The link's in the description below. And while you're here, only 1 people in 10 watching have subscribed, which means 9 out of 10 are still winging it. Please hit that subscribe button and stop relying on YouTube's memory to bring me back into your life. If you want to go deeper, please consider joining my paid YouTube members club for exclusive content every week. You'll get members-only recipes and PDFs and unfiltered Q&As, and the stuff I can't say in public without potentially getting demonetized or cancelled. Click join underneath this video. It's like having me in your kitchen, minus the dog hair and the occasional swearing. So to wrap up, protein isn't boring, and it's not just for athletes. It's the missing link in your fat loss, for your energy, for your cravings and your long-term health. So don't wait until your muscle's gone and your joints ache and you're living on snacks and you can't manage the stairs anymore. Eat your protein, lift something heavy, sleep like a queen or a king. You're not too old, you're not too far gone, you're just under fueling. Let's change that. And if you enjoyed this video, it's very hot here today in the southwest of France, and that's why I didn't take you for a walk, but look at this beautiful farmhouse you've got to look at behind me. If you enjoyed this video, you might like one of these two next. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Cheerio for now.